Okay, I don't usually take a bunch of time to explain how to play a build before we go in. They're usually pretty simple. But I feel like this one could actually use some more detail for people who are not Witch Doctor players. So we're going to go into that a little bit. If it's not your thing, skip ahead just a little bit and we'll be into the challenge rift. First off, the build is bad. He's using Royal Ring of Grandeur with no set pieces. He's using Tasker and Theo twice. No, that does not double the effect. It just, most of what he's doing doesn't make sense. Basically, what he's going for here is a kind of pet build. I'm guessing this was a Challenge Rift 40 achievement run. He's going for a pet build without any of the pet set pieces. His dogs are going to make it so you take less damage. He also is having even more damage redirected with the Eucapian Serpent. His main damage dealer is going to be the Gargantuan and grouping up people with Piranhados. Wall of Dead will also do some damage, but not a ton. But the bigger thing is it's going to reduce the damage done to you. So these are your three things. You're going to want to be casting your Wall of Death and your Piranhado a lot. You're also going to want to be Spirit Walking a lot and making sure you keep your stacks of Soul Harvest up. Those are all very important things as you're playing through this. It is important to note that you can Soul Harvest when you're in the middle of a Spirit Walk, so feel free to do that. Also, something that's important to note is that the Wall of Death only does damage on the outside ring. So those guys are just killing everything, dang it. Let me dismiss this stuff. I'm going to get rid of my pets for a second just to show you how the Wall of Death works. Alright, so if I cast the Wall of Death straight in the middle here, you'll notice that most of the guys are not... I cast it wrong, dang it. Well, you'll notice that they're on the ring. If I cast it so they're on the ring, they'll take damage. But if I cast it in a way that they are in the center... let's go like right here. Notice how most of them are not taking very much damage because they're not on the ring itself. The damage they are taking right now is from my pets, which unfortunately I have no way to completely take these things off. But the guys in the center are not going to take damage. See how they're not taking damage except for my Enchantress. If they're on the outside ring, that's where the damage comes in. So on your Wall of Death, the damage comes in on the outside ring portion. From about here, this circle here, to the outside. The center area right here is a dead area that does no damage. So if you don't play Witch Doctor, that might be confusing. One other thing that's important to know is that your Wall of Death do not stack. So if I cast one here, and then I get some cooldown reduction from my Grave Injustice, and I cast another one, the sections where the Walls of Death overlap do not stack with each other. We can probably show it here against these guys because we're going to get some cooldown reduction. But basically, those sections right there that are overlapping, like Venn diagram style, they don't actually stack double the damage. So try to spread out your Wall of Death. Don't just plop two directly on top of each other. You won't get any extra benefit. If you have cooldown reduction to pop an extra Wall of Death, get some more enemies on the sidelines. That said, the build is mostly about grouping up enemies for your Gargantuan to cleave them down. The Wall of Death, though, is some nice extra damage on top. So hopefully that helps for anyone who doesn't play Witch Doctor. I know that was a little bit long and convoluted, but hopefully it helps because this build is not very good. And it might take a little bit of getting used to. I did move my abilities around by right-clicking and then dragging them to different areas. I have my Wall of Death on my left click, my Piranhas on my right click. My 1 I have as a Spirit Walk, 2 is a Soul Harvest, 3 and 4 are my pets. I don't cast those very often. Every so often, if my Gargantuans are being dumb and I need them to move somewhere else, I will recast them on top of an elite. That's one way to make sure that the Gargantuans are actually hitting the elite that you want them to. So anyway, with all that said, we're going to look at the map and then we're going to go on into it. Alright, the first floor is more or less about getting those first two elites down and getting that channeling pylon and just getting to the second floor. Don't spend too much time clearing each individual little piece of trash. Try to run things up and group them together as much as possible. The second floor is where you get the bulk of your progress. As you enter the second floor, you'll want to kill the blue archers up and to the right away. Make sure you get your piranhas on them to keep them grouped up. Pop them. Then make your way down to the shielding pylon. After you get the shielding pylon, you can stand in the middle of everything and kill the yellow elite there. After that, beeline straight down to the speed pylon. Grab the speed pylon, run through everything. Don't kill anything while you have the speed pylon. Go get that conduit pylon, and then beeline back through the 4 different elite packs. Kind of drag them together. Don't stop too much. Drag them together and get down to that bottom right where you have the elite and the blue and the yellow. And you should be able to kill everything in relatively the same place. And that should be enough to spawn the Rift Guardian. If it's not enough to spawn the Rift Guardian, then you can go on to the 3rd floor and just make your way up and to the right, and there will be 2 more elites right there that you can use to spawn the Rift Guardian. Hopefully that helps you guys out. My first time clearing it, I spawned the Rift Guardian on the 2nd floor, just while I was getting the map, and then when I actually cleared it for real for the video, I got the Rift Guardian on the 3rd map with these second 2 elites, and that was just because I killed a little bit less trash. I think it might have been more efficient though. You guys can try your luck and see what you find works best for you. But the biggest thing is just abusing that conduit pylon. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay footage of the clear. Alright, so this build is all about conduit and pylon usage and just kind of staying alive as you clear. We're not going to get a ton of progress off the 1st floor. We can clear as we go, but our main objective is kind of get to that 2nd floor as quickly as possible. That said, there is a lot of trash here, so killing it's not a bad idea. It's just not going to give us a ton of progress. We're going to get about 1/3 of our bar off this 1st level if we clear everything. Maybe a little bit more. But we're going to get just so much on the next level so quick with the conduit pylon. So you just kind of want to move through this stuff, I feel like. I'm probably even clearing too much right now as I say that. One big thing is just make sure you pop those elites. Get the piranhas underneath them, then pop the gargantuans on top of them, and they should go down pretty quickly. I'm just going to stay here for a second and clear some of this density because there's quite a bit. Yeah, let's keep moving. Channeling pylon, we're going to use that in order to cast more piranhados and more walls of death than we normally would be able to. Just kind of spread out that damage across the screen. Remember again that your walls of death do not stack, so kind of trailing them together so enemies take maximum damage as they come to you is kind of the way to go. Once you get your enemies grouped up, remember to pop your gargantuans on top of them. I apologize, I am a little bit sick, so I probably sound a bit off right now. You can spirit walk through stuff without taking damage, so if you find yourself in a situation like that where you need globes but you can't get to them, make sure you use your spirit walk to your advantage. Try to pop your piranhas right on top of this blue pack right away so that they stay kind of grouped up. Otherwise they can take quite a while to kill. But if you do that, they go down pretty quick and then you can move on. We're going to kind of beeline straight to the shielding pylon here, because as soon as we get that, we can come straight down onto this yellow and we can kind of group up some trash together and we can get that flowing. We are invincible right now, so we want to just kind of stand still and spread our walls of death all over the place. Get the globes as soon as we can, and then we're actually just going to move on. We're not going to worry about killing the rest of that trash. There is some good density here, so just kind of group things up as you have the cooldowns to group things up and let your gargantuans do what your gargantuans are going to do. But your main goal is to get to speed pylon and then beeline straight through. We're not going to kill these guys yet. We're going to beeline straight through them and up over to the conduit pylon and pop it. Then we're going to double back, killing some of that trash as we go, but more importantly, killing this elite pack. Then after we get this initial elite pack here, we're going to beeline through these guys. We're not going to kill them. We're going to come down this way because there's a double elite pack over here that we can use this pylon on and just decimate. And then that's going to just give us a ton of progress. Then we can come back up and worry about the dog. And see, they kind of died just trailing behind us there. We didn't even have to worry about it. We're going to go on to the next floor, use a little bit of this pylon to just kind of beeline up to the next elite. I only have to do this because I didn't clear quite enough trash on the other floors. But hey, that's okay. We can kill this elite here and then move on to the Rift Guardian. This should be enough to pop it. If not, there's another elite right there. They're all very nicely grouped up. Not a big deal. And we just have to sit here and let our pets do the work. Sometimes it takes a while, but eventually they get it done. It's taking a very long time this time. There we go. And then our Rift Guardian is up. And now we're just about letting our pets do the damage. Try to avoid stuff that's going to kill you. There's not too much from this guy. He's pretty easy mode. Recast your Wall of Death. Remember, get the ring on top of him. I don't know if I quite hit him there as I was saying that. But the ring is the part that does damage, not the inside. And there we go. Challenge Rift completed. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Pretty easy if you abuse that conduit pylon. I don't know where that stands time-wise. That was the very first time I've tried to clear it. But yeah, 8 on leaderboard. I mean, it's still the first day though. But using that conduit pylon in combination with that speed pylon will get you through the challenge rift super easily. It is a pain in the butt build to play though. It's pretty squishy. It doesn't have a ton of damage, but we're going to really leverage those pylons to get through. Hopefully that helped you guys. If it did, make sure you leave a like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm going to say thank you guys for joining us and see you later. Bye, YouTubes.